So I didn't see this coming, but maybe I should have. LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith shared some words after a recent game. Looks like Bron's telling him, keep my son out of this S. Okay, so I think they're both right. I think Stephen A is more right than LeBron, but I'm going to defend them both a bit. Um, so let's take a look at LeBron. LeBron is a proud Papa Bear. He loves his kids. It's always a beautiful thing when you see videos of him and his daughter playing around, and he always loved Bryce and Bronny. Like I remember when he was a teenager in his early 20s when he was with the Cavs, and you saw LeBron with little Bronny, and then Bryce popped up. Like LeBron and Savannah's been together since high school. Like they're the real deal, man. Like it's a beautiful thing seeing their relationship grow from teenagers, and then they had LeBron Jr. and then they got married, and it's a beautiful thing. So I've always admired LeBron as a father. We do not, as a country, revere black fathers as we should. So I enjoy seeing that. And one of the only reasons why LeBron is such a great dad is that when he was in middle school, he moved in with the Walker family. Frank Walker and his family brought in LeBron when Gloria couldn't take care of him for a few years, and that's where LeBron learned about structure. He learned about what it's like to be a father. He learned watching a married couple because Frankie Walker was married, and Frankie Walker had a couple of kids, so he got to almost like be a brother of sorts to Frankie Walker's kids. So, man, if you take the Walker family, I've always said this: if you take the Walker family out of LeBron James' life, I don't know if he would be the same dude that we see today when it comes to family. So that was a crucial point. Middle school is a crucial point for kids. Like I'm not lying. Like middle school age can make or break you depending what your influence are. And it was a heavy family influence on LeBron. And that's why we see him the way he is. And I can understand him being a Papa Bear defending Bronny. Like you want your son to succeed. So when you hear like Stephen A. Smith, talk about your son, of course you're going to confront him. And if you're Stephen A. Smith, you just can't roll up on LeBron James acting like everything is cool. Hey, man, how's it going? It's like, dude, read the room. You can't expect to talk about Bronny and not expect LeBron to push up on you. The balls on this dude. But he just got paid $100 million. So shout out to Stephen A. Smith. But yeah, man, come on, Stephen, read the room. Now, I will defend Stephen A. on this. Bronny James is fair game. Bronny James is an NBA player. Most times we don't talk about second round picks unless they're doing really well. If most second round picks had the stats of LeBron James Jr., we wouldn't be talking about him. Stephen A. wouldn't be talking about him. But he's Bronny James. The whole thing about the draft, where Rich Paul said if anybody else drafts him, he's going to play in Europe, which cleared the path for the Lakers to draft him. That's part of it. Like he's playing with his father, that's which I never thought was a good situation. But and plus Bronny's 20 years old. Like he's not a grown man, but he's an adult. Like he can take it. The one thing I don't like what they're doing with him, I've always felt like he should just play in the G League all year. Like the whole thing about the father and son thing, I get it, but to be honest, like Bronny, since he missed most of college last year, he should have been doing nothing but stay in the G League and working on his game, and maybe pop up once in a while with the Lakers because he's not playing anyway. And plus, because I think on away games for the G League, he's in LA, but I feel like he should stay on the road with those guys in the G League and just and make that his team. And actually, his stats, he started off kind of slow, but his stats actually look pretty good in the G League. And I just want that to continue for him. But no, Stephen A. is fair game if you're Bronny James. It doesn't matter if you're Michael Jordan Jr., Shaq Jr., Tim Duncan Jr. If you're the junior of somebody and you came into the league with a lot of this fanfare, it's fair game. And part of this, even though I love LeBron as a dad, it's LeBron's fault. Like LeBron knows, he's been around long enough to know what NBA caliber player looks like. And coming into this season, that wasn't Bronny. Like Bronny had the heart ailment last year in college. So, he didn't play a lot of games. So, and then when the season ended, he was in the transfer portal from USC. And at the time, people didn't know he was going to go into the draft. He was going to go to another college. I felt like the best thing for him to do was to go to another college and actually kind of get away from LeBron, like his son Bryce. His son Bryce is going to go to Arizona. He's close enough to the family because he's in Arizona, but Bryce is kind of on his own, which is a really smart thing to do. And again, it's not a knock on LeBron as a dad. It's just that I think Bryce watched Bronny and feel like I love my dad, but maybe I need a little space from the family. So which is very smart on Bryce's part. But for Bronny, I feel like Bronny should have gone to another college. One to get his win back, work on his game. Because even going to the draft, he was either going to be a second round pick or a street free agent. If you went to another school and got with a better coach, Bronny might have worked his way into the first round, or at least maybe an early second round pick. And plus, in college, he was the top NIL moneymaker as far as male athletes, because I think female athletes, it was Livy Dunn. And I think for male athletes, it was Bronny James. Can you imagine? Think about if you went to college, think about how life would have been in college. One, if you were the son of LeBron James, that's one. But two, you're already a millionaire in college. You may or may not be going to classes. Can you imagine if you had $1 million in the bank when you're in college, how much fun you would have had? College is so much fun. I always encourage anybody, because I see kids come out of high school and it's like, and he's, what are you going to do? I don't know. Go to a community college, go to a 4-year college, just go to some college for a semester. And you don't have to do full, take 12 credits. Just take a class, see what it's like. College is so much fun. So I can only imagine how much fun I would have been if I was Bronny James with $1 million in my pocket. But that's the thing. Like, there was no reason for Bronny James to come out. As long as you're Bronny James, your NIL money would have been fine for 4 years. Did I expect Bronny to stay in college for 4 years? No. But I think at least he should have been in college for 2 years. Technically 3. But, we got the whole story. Bronny came out. Rich Paul said no one else was going to draft him. And then he got, the whole father and son thing. The first time father and son playing in the league. I mean, that was a beautiful thing. It was, but I was thinking, but what about after that? It's a beautiful story for tonight. But what happens to Bronny James the rest of the year? And to be honest, I never felt like Bronny should have been drafted by the Lakers. I felt like he should have gone to other teams. Like, I really wanted him to go to San Antonio. I thought San Antonio with Wemby, that would have been a good fit because they're a young team. And so he's away from Bron, and he gets to learn. At the time when Popovich was healthy, he would have been able to learn under Popovich and Chris Paul. I mean, because he's known Chris Paul his whole life. He's almost like Uncle Chris. Chris Paul could have shown him how to play point guard. Golden State was interested in Bronny. It would have been great if Bronny was in Golden State and he would have learned how to shoot from Steph, Steph and those guys, how to be a pro from those guys. I think, and again, they would have loved Bronny too. They would have treated him because they like LeBron, so they would have protected Bronny. But then I think Steph and those guys would have shown Bronny how to shoot better. The Clippers would have been an interesting situation. They wouldn't have done anything, but he still would have been in LA. He still would have been close to his family. And he still would have played with James Harden. That might be good or bad. But Harden is a Hall of Fame caliber type player, so he would have learned some things from James. There would have been so many different, even Miami Heat, like even though it's clear across the country, but he would have learned under Spoelstra and Riley how to be a player and how to be a pro, because they're not really playing that well. So he might have gotten some playing time down there. I feel like LeBron and Rich Paul kind of put too much pressure on this young man. Could have stayed in college, could have been drafted by another team. So I can understand LeBron being upset with Stephen A, but LeBron put Bronny in this situation. Bronny wasn't ready. Bronny, now to be fair to Bronny, he's handled everything fine. Like, he's the one thing that he learned over the years is how to kind of handle the media, because he's more laid back than his dad in a lot of ways, but he's handling the media quite well. Like, he's not really complaining too much. I'm sure he doesn't like the criticisms, but I think he understood what he walked himself into. So what do you guys think? Do you think Stephen A is right? Do you think LeBron is right? But do you think both of them are right? I feel like both of them are right. They both got solid points. I lean more towards Stephen A because Stephen A is doing his job. But I can understand LeBron being a Papa Bear, but at the same time, you kind of caused this situation.